to its former grandeur. Iolani Palace reminds us that Hawaiians once had their own kingdom. Here, our history comes alive, and we can experience the spirit of old Hawaii. From this palace, King Kalakaua ruled the kingdom with regal elegance. With his queen, Kapi'olani, he continued an earlier tradition. Their monarchy was fashioned after that of British kings and queens, yet it was uniquely Hawaiian. Long before this palace was built, and before Western explorers reached Hawaii's shores, the different islands were ruled by their own chiefs. In 1810, this great warrior, Kamehameha I, completed the unification of the various islands. During his reign, Hawaii moved from its isolation to increasing contact with the outside world. After his death, as Westerners settled on all the islands, Hawaiian traditional life began to disintegrate, and economic, political, and social pressures grew. His successors and their queens saw the kingdom through many, many changes. His son, Liholiho, Kamehameha II, presided over the abolition of the kapu, or traditional Hawaiian laws. To ensure the sovereignty of the kingdom in the face of the increasing influence of the resident foreigners, the third King Kamehameha established a constitutional monarchy. He also put new laws in place in an effort to protect his people's land and civil rights. Kamehameha IV, feeling increasing economic pressures from the growing American interests, tried to align the kingdom with the British, both in trade and in royal lifestyle. The dynasty's fifth king, Lot Kamehameha, strengthened his constitutional powers as the foreign population continued to increase. One of only a few possible successors to the Kamehameha throne, Prince Lunalilo became the kingdom's first elected monarch. The increasing pressure to give Pearl Harbor to the United States for its exclusive use in exchange for American concessions to the sugar industry and the growing scourge of leprosy were two of the great problems he faced during his short reign. High Chief David La'amea Kalakaua became Hawaii's second elected king on February 12, 1874. Fluent in English and Hawaiian, he came to the throne well prepared to rule. He had been educated at the royal school with several of Hawaii's future kings and queens and had already held a number of political offices and other important positions in the kingdom's government. King Kalakaua came to power during turbulent times and had a difficult and controversial reign as American business and trade increased. In 1874, he traveled to Washington, D.C. to discuss Hawaii's economic interests with